Planet of the Apes arrived like a thundercrack through Hollywood's safe science fiction formulas. This wasn't another glossy space adventure. Audiences watched Charlton Head by rifle-wielding gorillas who spoke perfect English and ruled a civilization built on forbidden knowledge. The journey to the screen was anything but smooth. Extreme heat threatened to collapse the production. Studio executives nearly killed the project multiple times. The twist ending was guarded like a state secret, and actors needed cooling tents just to survive the grueling makeup sessions. What you're about to discover goes far beyond the famous beach scene. These are the secrets that transformed a risky adaptation into a cultural landmark. Let's step into the forbidden zone. Number 1. The novel the film nearly ignored. When Pierre Boulle published a science fiction novel in 1963, he imagined a sleek, technologically advanced ape civilization with flying vehicles, gleaming towers, and sophisticated urban planning. The apes wore modern clothing, drove cars, and lived in a world that mirrored mid-century human progress. Hollywood producers loved the concept, but faced an immediate problem. Bringing that vision to life would cost a fortune. Flying cars and futuristic architecture required special effects, budgets that 20th Century Fox wasn't willing to provide for an untested project about talking apes. The solution was radical. Strip away the futuristic elements entirely. What emerged was something far stranger, a primitive, almost tribal civilization that felt ancient yet spoke with articulate intelligence. This budgetary compromise accidentally created the film's most haunting quality, the jarring contrast between the apes' primitive tools and their sophisticated minds. Number 2, desert heat nearly stopped production. The Arizona desert seemed perfect for an alien landscape, but nobody anticipated how brutal filming would become. Surface temperatures regularly climbed past 120 degrees Fahrenheit, turning the location into an outdoor furnace. For the actors, the heat became a genuine health crisis. The prosthetic makeup covered their entire faces and heads, creating an insulated layer that trapped body heat with nowhere to escape. Actors couldn't sweat properly through the latex and foam rubber. Fainting spells became common, and dehydration sent several cast members to medical tents between takes. Production crews erected cooling stations with fans, ice, and portable air conditioners just to keep people conscious. Shooting schedules required constant adjustment with frequent mandatory breaks. The physical toll was so severe that it influenced casting decisions for the sequels. Producers actively sought locations with more moderate climates. Number 3, the spaceship that never got a name. Throughout the entire theatrical release, the crashed spacecraft remained completely anonymous. No character mentions its name, no visible markings appear on the wreckage, and the script offers zero identification. Behind the scenes, the production team juggled several working titles during different stages of development. Internal documents and prop department notes reference the vessel by various names that changed as the script evolved. These were purely functional ways for crew members to discuss specific scenes without confusion. The name Liberty One didn't surface publicly until decades later when home video releases began, including production notes. This official designation appeared in supplementary documentation, giving fans their first concrete identity for the spacecraft. It's a fascinating example of how film props can have entire lives invisible to audiences with names existing purely in production paperwork. Number 4, the twist ending was on lockdown. The Statue of Liberty reveal remains one of cinema's most famous plot twists, but keeping it secret required extraordinary security measures. Studio executives understood they had something special and implemented protocols rarely seen in 1960s Hollywood. Only essential personnel received complete scripts with the final pages intact. Most cast and crew worked from partial scripts that ended before the beach scene, leaving them genuinely unaware of how the story concluded. Even actors filming other scenes didn't know why Charlton H's character would eventually fall to his knees in despair. The few who knew the ending signed strict confidentiality agreements, and the beach location shoot was closed to outsiders with unusual intensity. When the movie finally premiered, the twist hit audiences with full force because virtually nothing had leaked. The collective gasp in theaters became part of the film's legend. Number 5. Makeup that revolutionized Hollywood. John Chambers faced an unprecedented challenge. Create realistic ape faces that could convey complex human emotions while actors spoke dialogue clearly. Nothing like this had been attempted at such scale in Hollywood history. Chambers developed a groundbreaking prosthetic system using foam latex appliances that adhered directly to actors' skin. Each piece was sculpted individually with careful attention to how the material would move during speech. The process required up to 6 hours per actor every morning with teams of makeup artists working simultaneously to prepare the cast. The innovation earned Chambers an honorary Academy Award, remarkable because the Oscars didn't yet have a regular makeup category. His work became the industry's standard for prosthetic effects. His reputation grew so strong that the CIA eventually recruited him for real-world disguise operations, including his work on the covert mission later depicted in Argo. Number 6. A blacklisted writer saved the story. The Hollywood Red Scare left talented writers unable to work under their own names, forced into shadows by political persecution. One such writer would secretly reshape the entire soul of the science fiction project, infusing it with themes that studio executives never fully understood. Michael Wilson had been blacklisted for years when he was brought in to rewrite the screenplay. He saw an opportunity to explore subversive political and philosophical ideas through the safety of ape masks and distant planets. His contributions added layers of commentary on authoritarianism, intellectual freedom, and dogmatic thinking that elevated the script beyond simple adventure. For years, Wilson received no credit. The screenplay was attributed to Rod Serling alone, erasing Wilson's fundamental contributions. Only later would the truth emerge about who truly crafted the philosophical depth that made audiences think as much as they gasped. Number 7. The ape society mirrors our own. Every detail of the ape civilization was designed with intentional symbolism, creating a hierarchy that audiences could recognize, even if they didn't consciously understand it. The 3 species weren't randomly chosen. Each represented a specific layer of human social structure. Gorillas served as military enforcers and police. Their physical dominance translated into roles of violence and control. Orangutans occupied political and religious positions, robed in authority and speaking with calculated pomposity. Chimpanzees functioned as scientists and intellectuals, curious and questioning, but often powerless against institutional authority. This hierarchy was reinforced through costume design, makeup detail, and even how characters moved through scenes. Gorillas stood in formation. Orangutans gestured with deliberate ceremony, and chimpanzees showed more natural body language. The entire system reflected human class division, a mirror held up to society that most viewers absorbed unconsciously. Number 8. Why the Humans Barely Speak. One of the film's most striking creative choices was rendering the human characters essentially mute. Beyond Charlton H's astronaut crew, every other human communicates through grunts, screams, and primitive gestures, never articulate language. This decision completely inverted audience expectations and power dynamics. Humans became the animals captured, caged, and studied like specimens. The choice created profound discomfort in viewers who suddenly saw their own species through the lens of primitiveness. Pierre Boulle's original novel featured talking humans living alongside the apes. By removing human speech, the filmmakers amplified the shock of the ape civilization. Every moment, H's character struggles to communicate becomes more desperate. The revelation of intelligent speaking apes hits harder because the contrast is absolute and audiences feel the horror of being rendered voiceless. Number 9. The most iconic line almost got cut. A single line of dialogue would become the film's most quoted moment, appearing on t-shirts in parodies and on the American Film Institute's list of greatest movie quotes. Yet, studio executives nearly removed it entirely. "Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape," felt too aggressive to nervous executives who worried it would alienate audiences. They pushed for something softer, more diplomatic, anything less abrasive than calling the apes dirty with such raw fury. Director Franklin J. Shaner fought to keep the line, recognizing it as a perfect emotional release for both character and audience. When H finally spoke those words, viewers needed to feel his rage and defiance concentrated into one explosive moment. Only during final editing did executives relent, realizing the line provided exactly the cathartic punch the scene required. Number 10, the rewrite that changed everything. Rod Serling's original screenplay envisions something closer to Pierre Bli's novel, a futuristic ape metropolis with advanced technology, modern architecture, and a civilization that paralleled human urban development. 20th Century Fox took one look at the budget estimates and flatly refused. Building a futuristic city would cost millions. A studio wouldn't spend on an unproven concept. They demanded a complete reimagining that could be filmed using existing locations and minimal set construction. This forced revision transformed the entire tone. Instead of satire set in a mirror image modern world, it became a stark cautionary tale set in ruins and caves. The primitive setting strengthened the story's themes. The apes had regressed despite their intelligence. What started as cost-cutting became the film's most powerful visual metaphor for civilizations that destroy themselves and rise again in ignorance. Planet of the Apes became a cultural touchstone because it dared to break rules and deliver a message Hollywood wasn't ready for. From the oppressive desert heat to the makeup revolution that changed cinema, the film's journey was as dramatic as anything on screen. The legacy continues through sequels, remakes, and its influence on pop culture. That final shot of the Statue of Liberty still warns us about the consequences of our choices just as powerfully today as it did in 1968. The film's enduring reminder: civilization survives only if we choose to protect it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Which secret surprised you the most? Or did we miss one? Let us know in the comments.